Hello, everybody. Brandon Jones here for a rather so unscheduled, we barely dragged Daniel Bloodworth in here. Daniel Bloodworth is extremely busy. This is a very interesting episode of Let's All Go to the Trailers. I had several requests on social media for us to talk about these trailers. These are movie trailers, and as you'll notice, it says, Let's All Go to the Movie Trailers, because this is such a special episode. I'm joined by Mr. Daniel Bloodworth,
hey,
and Mr. Kyle Bossman,
hi, buddy.
who I said in reverse order because they're sitting in different chairs today. That's how different and weird this episode is. Very quickly, we're just going to go over two humongous trailer announcements that happened last week, Jurassic World and Star Wars The Force Awakens. These are two franchises that have been dormant for a very long time. They're back. Brand new trailers coming out. I mean, let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. Mr. Blood, you just watched this for the first time.
Yeah.
You had not seen this yet. The first one we're going to talk about, of course, is Jurassic World. Setting it up, I'm curious. Mr. Kyle, I'm curious. You mentioned before, actually, that I would do most of the talking. Is that just because I like trailers so
You're
much?
most qualified.
Because I like these so much? I'm a huge Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
I like Jurassic Park. I really did not like the second and third film. Love the first film, love Steven Spielberg. I'm curious how much involvement he has in this project. I'm a little mixed on this trailer. I think my favorite thing about the trailer is just the build. I think it actually sets up the story pretty well, sets up who the main characters are, kind of sets up the draw, kind of the basically what this movie's about. My big concern is that it feels to me like it's a remake of the first Jurassic Park film.
It does.
And I would have liked if there was a little bit more of a spin on, oh, that's what you're doing that the first film didn't do. Obviously, the big spin is that it's open and the text. We don't get a lot of text in here other than just the date and the title. But it says the park is open. I think that's kind of like their catchphrase, that like the park never did open. The second and third film were called Jurassic Park, but it really was just Jurassic Island, or Jurassic Peninsula, or these locations that they went to. Whereas this is, Jurassic World. This is a brand new thing, and they're actually finally opening it, and all the people go in, and wouldn't you know it, things go wrong.
I think it's actually the same area as Jurassic Park.
Yeah, it has the same name and everything.
Isla Nublar. You can see it on the boat that they're going to. It's the same place.
So, yeah, that's funny. Right. What's different, we made a new dinosaur is what we learned.
Right.
Yeah, because the old dinosaurs weren't dangerous
actually,
enough.
Not to cut you off, Kyle, because we do want to make this brief. I do want to talk about the trailer. We can speculate on how this movie's going to be or what we like about it, but specifically, you really got to prove it to people that, okay, the last two Jurassic Park films were a little rocky. This franchise, for whatever reason, has just not done anything for so many years, but we're inviting you to come back. Why? And does this trailer sell you?
Can I tell you that's actually my favorite shot right there at the end with a little dinosaur with a speech bubble that says, "I'm back." Should have started with that. Basically, it does a lot of annoying things where it's just like, okay, well, we got to show him a little boy. Show him a little boy, and then showing the little boy react to what he sees. Just like stupid old Hollywood, just Spielberg walked in, just says, you need a boy. You need a little boy to see the islands. Let's see him. What's his expression? Like, okay, we got that. We did it. Little boy sees a bigger gate than Jurassic Park had, and now it's Jurassic World, bigger gate. There's a lot of things to get out of the way, I guess, in the trailer. It's like, where's our little boy? Okay, we got him. Check that off. But there are exciting things, and I think the most exciting thing is that we don't see the dinosaur. That's good. Thank you for not showing us the dinosaur.
I think that is the smartest decision on their part. We see legs chasing Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Actually, not 120% confirmed that is the dinosaur he's referring to. Maybe he just wanders into the wrong paddock, and a T-Rex goes chasing after him. I mean, obviously, we're meant to assume that that's who that is, but what exactly am I hyped about here? What is this movie about? It's we have this the synergy between human DNA or dinosaur DNA and another animal. I mean, they had to mix it with frog. I believe frog DNA was kind of like the missing link in the first Jurassic Park. They don't really specify what that is, so we don't know what this dinosaur is going to look like. We know it's dangerous. Duh, they all have been in every single Jurassic Park film. So it's really kind of tough to sink your teeth into, pun intended, what's really happening here that's going to bring me to levels that the films never could before. To me, I think there's just a lot of the same. I think it's I mean, even just the crowd going in and the crowd running out, to me, is almost comedic. It's like, duh, that's going to happen. I don't know. It's, to me, it just kind of plays on expectations more than breaking them. The big break is, Raptors on your side.
Yeah.
Team Raptor.
Team Raptor. Great shot to end on. Thank you for that.
It's like Pokemon. They throw the ball out, it opens up, and 4 Raptors come spilling out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of the weird thing. And again, it's I have a hard time putting myself into the judge the trailer moment because I'm so hung up on when Jurassic Park came out, that was kind of a new sci-fi concept, right? It's oh, they could really do this type of idea. You know, whereas this is like, okay, well, there's already been like a couple of decades of science that's saying that this probably wouldn't work, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, I think two of the things that you picked up on that do kind of make this difference. Like, okay, yeah, the park is open. There are actually crowds of people going to this place. And I think the other thing being that maybe this weird concept that the dinosaurs on their own aren't that dangerous. Like, it can be just like a big zoo and not be, you know, totally out of control. But man, I can't help but feeling that this weird hybrid dinosaur is just going to be some hokey anti-GMO type thing.
We're watching the little boys in the globe going by. One shot that I like is that you see that globe later and you see it smashed up.
And we know there's a great sequence in between.
Of course, of them just
really
being
cool,
knocked around by that dinosaur. Interesting to show the kind of SeaWorld-ish parody. You can see all the people with their drinks and little souvenirs and stuff like that. And Jurassic Park has been at Universal Studios for quite some time. You get the Universal logo at the beginning.
Yeah.
So it is kind of a parody of themselves. So I wonder if that's them kind of joking that you know, the kind of the commercialism of Jurassic Park. Obviously, we're getting more plush toys, we're getting more backpacks.
Well, they had all that in the first movie as well, yeah.
Right, but it's been around for so long that it's kind of fun. I thought the mom at the beginning was kind of antagonistic. You know, she's like joking, like, "Oh, run if it goes away," and it's like she must have known that dinosaurs killed people, right? I mean, in the second film, the first and the third film could have been done under wraps. You know, like it makes sense that maybe not a lot of people knew that happened, what the events of the first and third film. And at the end of Jurassic Park 2, a T-Rex goes, you know, tears through a neighborhood. I imagine that made the evening news. I imagine she might know where those dinosaurs came from, and to her to make light of the fact that she's sending her kids, for whatever reason, alone to Jurassic Park. We don't see them meeting up with any other guardians or anything, so it's just kind of curious, like, what parent sends their kids. I give it an 8.
That's still pretty good.
It's good. One final thing that I actually wasn't a huge fan of is they do the piano theme. I want to point out both trailers we're talking about today scored by John Williams. Thank you very much. I'm not sure if this film was scored by John Williams, but they're definitely reusing themes that he wrote. If you're going to go back and hit that piano note, to me that's a callback to specific characters. You know, like, I hear that music and I don't think of just Jurassic Park in general. I think of Sam Neill. I think of, you know, Jeff Goldblum. I think of these people specifically. They played piano in the first film when he makes the joke. He's like, "What do you call a blind dinosaur? Do you think he saw us?" And the camera's panning away, and you got Sam Neill and the two kids, and they're falling asleep in the tree. And like, it's the first time that you just hear the Jurassic Park theme just on piano by itself. It's a beautiful track on the score.
This is why you're most qualified.
So that's immediately what I think of. I think of those moments and those memories that we had with those characters, and I thought that was a little bit of a low ball, you know, just to like,
manipulative.
We're really gonna get you.
Sure,
we're really gonna. I feel that right in the kidneys every time I hear like a theme like that. It's like, oh god, I love it. But compared to the next trailer that we watched for Star Wars, tons of stuff, tons of footage, lots of CG, lots of effects. We definitely get the kind of the full breadth of the magnitude of this film. I'm just missing that one extra thing that makes it not a remake of the first film, that makes it not just kind of a repeat play on expectations for people that dearly loved that film that we got 20 years ago. Score, Mr. Bossman.
I'll give it a 6.5. One thing, we already trashed on it a lot. You got to choose wisely your lines. And some of these lines are pretty dumb.
Mr. Blood, you just watched it. What's your gut reaction?
My gut reaction is 7. I mean, I think it's kind of good for the, you know, again, the thrill ride thing. I mean, the thing with the Raptors, I mean, it's cool and ridiculous at the same time. The motorcycle. I don't get the sense that I'm gonna get like invested in this. Like I feel again like it goes back to the second or third movies more than the first. You know, this isn't so much of a classic. It's just another like Hollywood fun 3D movie or whatever. If this is an actual sequel, a continuation of the story, they should have had something in here to clue you into that you should have seen a character or something that you would recognize of like, oh, okay, that's still there, and I can like, this is a through line.
We'll see. The music's there. I'm now thinking back on my Jurassic Park score. It possibly was a little high. Maybe I can take 0.5 away from it for fanboyism. There's a lot of fanboyism going on with me this week.
Don't be scared of fanboyism.
These trailers are playing with my emotions, folks. This trailer gave me chills, literally, and I can't think of a trailer that's done that since. There's something about Star Wars, and we're not talking at all about the stuff that you're seeing. It's a very short trailer. You're prepared to watch it about 20 times. People.
I could watch it 20 times.
There's something about Star Wars. It's a galaxy. You could go anywhere. You could go to any planet. You could see anything. You can introduce new villains. You could introduce new monsters, new force powers, or you could go back and see the same old stuff. So people really had absolutely no idea what the hell they were going to be watching when this trailer happened. So many people put up parody trailers, and I bought every single one of them for at least 5 seconds because I just didn't know what we were going to see. And the second he popped up into frame, I knew it. I knew this was actually the Star Wars The Force Awakens. Love the title, love the trailer. I'm so pumped for this movie. I don't think it's going to be perhaps the greatest thing J.J. Abrams has done. I can almost guarantee it will be better than Episode 1, 2, and or 3, because those were just absolutely god-awful. I think this is a better trailer and makes the film look better than Episode 1 did. I might have been more excited when the Episode 1 trailer came out, but I want to remind people that Jar Jar being electrocuted by Anakin's pod, where he steps in and he backs up, that was in that first trailer. And I remember that being a red flag. I remember talking to my friends at the time being like, I don't know. I don't know about this Jar Jar guy. And this is a mature trailer. I hope this scared kids. Mr. Boyega from Battle on the Block actually startled my wife when we watched the trailer for the first time. She jumped a little bit when he popped up, and I believe that was intentional. I actually have a fan theory that is the first shot of the film, that the opening titles show up in space. You pan down to Tatooine, pan down to the sand, he pops up, and we're off and running. I think off and running is kind of like my tagline for this trailer, is everything is just very immediate, everything's running. Everybody's moving, everybody's, oh my god, I just got a piece of information, I gotta get it to somebody else, I'm in a hurry. The Falcon's in a hurry, the Dark Jedi's in a hurry, the smugglerish gal, possibly Han and Leia's daughter, is in a hurry. The Stormtrooper's in a hurry.
Just pull that out of nowhere.
Fanboy speculation. I really enjoy that we do not see anybody that we know. I like that we don't see C-3PO, Han, Chewie. A lot of people actually were upset by that. I think it was a very smart decision on their part because they managed to achieve two things at once. They showed you a ton of new stuff, and it's extremely familiar at the same time. If you actually close your eyes and just listen to this trailer, nothing goes by in this trailer without, like, even just right here, when the Stormtrooper turns around, you hear like a droid sound effect or something. Like, I don't see any droid in there. Like, I think that was just thrown in. And it's like, it's like this kind of scanning droid, like whenever the Empire has droids scanning stuff. So everything, I mean, even, this new droid that we've never seen before has a little R2 head, his little lenses look very similar. New Stormtrooper outfits, but they are still Stormtroopers. We see this new vehicle and this new character, but we're still on Tatooine, presumably.
Yeah. I like how big and chunky it is.
We've never seen, jet skiing X-Wings before, but we are familiar with the Republic logo. We are familiar with, again, that sound. It sounds like you're on Star Tours. We are familiar with Dark Jedis. We've never seen a lightsaber like that before. Presumably never been on this planet before. Don't really know where this forest is. We don't see who that character is. I need to stop talking. One of you guys needs to jump in. Hal Bossman, what do you think?
So I think, we're still a video game website. What video game trailers could learn from this is escalation. Every shot is is heightening on what we just last saw, and that's really, really important. We start off calm. We start off with just this scene, and I think we're like 2 or 3 seconds go by before the character pops up. So we go from that to this final shot of the Millennium Falcon flipping around and TIE fighters. And so it's just like, how do we get from there to there, and incrementally getting more and more just astounding. And that is just, oh my gosh, super impressive. The shots that were chosen, all of them are giving you a hint. All of them are giving you a taste, and nothing is just saying, here's what this movie's about. And again, about selecting lines, like great line, just what was spoken has an impact on probably only Star Wars fans, but I assume anyone just hopping into this trailer for the first time gets the impression that something huge is about to go down.
I think it's interesting how much black they allow in this trailer. Like it's like, they close you off and they're like, okay, now what, and kind of pulling you along with that. But again, like the slow shots are interesting. The tracking shots I'm not as into. I do like the static shots a lot better. The like kind of roller coaster thing with the Millennium Falcon is it feels like it's gonna go like a little too far on the CG side of things, but definitely, and then having the date in there at the end, I think is really good. It's like, okay, we know it's coming next year, but when is like, oh, they're gonna take the time with it. So I think that's kind of good to kind of throw that out there as well.
I saw someone point out we never go into space. which is interesting for a Star Wars trailer. We do not see stars in this trailer. Everything is planet-side. Very rare in the old trilogy, certainly not in Special Edition when they added all sorts of CG weirdness, but never really saw the Falcon on land. We always kind of saw it you take it off from Tatooine, taking off from Hoth. They added it like kind of maneuvering through Bespin and when they did Empire Strikes Back Special Edition, but kind of crazy to see the Falcon that low, like kicking up sand. Got a little like, wind trail on it, that's certainly they didn't bother to try to recreate or muck up the shots when they did effects back in the 70s and 80s, but of course they can just go nuts now. Lots of old, lots of new. I think this is a 9. I think this is a solid trailer. It is a teaser, I want to point out. If you go to YouTube, to the official channels of Universal Pictures and of Star Wars, the Jurassic World is labeled a trailer, and this is labeled a teaser. This is definitely a teaser. We will get the full trailer later, where hopefully we will meet up with Mark Hamill and all the other people. Luke is the character I'm actually most eagerly anticipating to see. I could care, as much as I love Han Solo, I could care less what he's doing in this
He's
film.
not going to change. He's not going to change. That guy's not going to change.
But what Luke has been up to and what he has to say about The Force Awakening. Two other things I want to touch on before sorry to throw my score out there so early. The VO, presumably done by Mr. Andy Serkis, who I am guessing is the Dark Jedi, is the master of the apprentice Dark Jedi that we see in the forest. Again, that's not proven. We know he's in the film. My wife suggested that, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And she brought up a YouTube clip of him being interviewed about Lord of the Rings. He said 5 words, and I was like, oh, that's totally him, of course. And this was just a conversational tone at him at some convention or something like that, and he already had that low,
Yeah.
So very cool to see, him doing a role where you actually get to see him. We're used to him doing lots of mocaps. It's going to be, I think, what a great actor to play a Dark Jedi. So stoked that we get to see 2 new characters playing Dark Jedi. Love that we don't see an opponent for the Dark Jedi. He just senses something in the forest.
Oh,
there's nobody there, and he just, nope. I know someone's there, so it is not some smuggler or a bear or something like that. It is a Jedi that is meeting him in the forest, and he senses that, much like Vader says, I feel a presence that I've not felt since exit stage left. I also want to point out, I love the music. I've seen a lot of Star Wars trailers that just absolutely butcher John Williams' score. They're just like, I'll just put an edit here, nobody will notice. It's like, are you kidding me? Oh my God, it's just poison in my ears. It's like you're on a record and you just scratch it. And I think it's interesting that we leave the Falcon, we start on the Falcon shot right in the engine, and it does this barrel roll, and then we cut out right when the TIE fighters go by, and it just happens to be the exact length of the opening of the Star Wars fanfare up into that first beat, when we would typically have the logo come in. So I wonder if that was timed that way, or I wonder if they, maybe slowed down or sped up the shot in order to make it perfectly fit that theme. But I like that it ends. You get the main theme, which of course we had to have in this, which the Episode 1 trailer actually did. It was a lot of mystery in the beginning, and then, they had a big triumphant reveal. But even that Episode 1 trailer kind of flirted between a couple of different themes. I don't think Williams had done his Episode 1 score yet, so they were just kind of reusing some of the old music. And the beginning, I believe, is a reference to a track called Return of the Jedi from the film Return of the Jedi, which is Luke about to jump into the Sarlacc pit. We get bum, like when all the characters are prepped, to fight Jabba and fight all the people on the skiffs. And I think they added some other like spooky undertones because there was kind of like a little bit of excitement in Return where like this is obviously there's lots of spooky music going on. Somebody pointed out, on social media, that the pod racers in the background on Tatooine when the droid goes by could be possibly a reference to taking a big dump on Episode 1. That you kind of see the remnants of these pod racers in the background, and it's kind of showing that, like, nope, no, we're not doing that. So yeah, you got my score. What do you think, Mr. Bossman?
I'm doing this too much. I give this a 10.
Wow.
I can't see this teaser. This is a perfect teaser. I can't see a teaser being better than this. It's like an album, and the song selection matters of like where you put your songs. It's just, this is perfection. This is as good as it gets.
I go a little lower, I guess. 8.5 for me, still high, but I definitely enjoy it. I think some of the things that they threw in there, it's just like I don't know why, and I guess that's part of the teaser. But obviously there's a lot of controversy over some of those shots. But it's just like, what? You have a teaser and you're gonna put that? I don't understand. But yeah, overall, I definitely agree with what you said with the music and making sure that you actually compose something for a trailer is a big deal, rather than reusing something, especially something of this magnitude. Yeah, I guess just trying to see what to really latch onto. I'm not quite there yet. I think that's just kind of the result of years and years and years of Star Wars trailers to where it's like, okay, what's actually going on here? So
Well, that is it. Those are those 2 trailers. Do not expect more shows like this. Please do not leave in the comments like, oh, you guys should talk about that trailer. We don't really want to do this. I just got lots of mentions and people were curious about what we thought. I'm a gigantic Star Wars fan, so I happily obliged. Thank you, Mr. Bossman. Thank you, Mr. Bloodworth, for joining me. And in case you just randomly stumbled upon this video, this is a very random episode of a show that we have called Let's All Go to the Trailers, which normally premieres every Sunday here on GameTrailers, where we talk about game trailers. And we will do that this Sunday, so please enjoy the next episode of Let's All Go to the Trailers. Thanks, guys. See you next week.